If that builder has set up shop in that neighborhood for more than 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they just keep buying more land and keep building more and more phases, this is a huge, huge problem for you. Hi folks, Thomas Eaves with the Eaves Realty Group at Keller Williams Realty, and today I want to talk to you about the things to focus on and the things to potentially avoid when considering new construction for all of your real estate needs. So, new construction can be awesome for some buyers for a few reasons. One, they're often similar price to comparable pre-owned homes in the same area. You don't have to worry about deferred maintenance or undisclosed deferred maintenance by the previous owners. And there's often also great builder incentives, which offers you more affordability. So these are all the good things. Before I go any further, I just want to address something that shouldn't be controversial, but for some reason is, which is, should you use a real estate agent when looking to buy new construction homes? Yeah, for a whole hell of a lot of reasons. So why? First and foremost, whenever you go into a builder, you go into a model home, you go and speak to a builder for the first time, you go to the builder's website, you are communicating with a smiling, beautiful builder rep who, while they might be very kind and very polite and very nice, they represent the builder and the builder's interests, okay? This isn't malicious. This isn't a bad thing. You know, sometimes you go into a restaurant that's on hard times, and instead of giving you 4 ounces of chicken, they give you 3.5 ounces of chicken so that they can keep the doors open. That person who made your chicken salad doesn't have it out for you. They're not a bad person. They're following orders. Their loyalty is to the people who sign their checks, not to you. So there's nothing malicious going on here. Most of the builder reps that I know are extraordinarily nice people with great haircuts, okay? But they don't represent you, and they're not looking out for you. They might like you, but they're not representing you. Shouldn't be controversial. Number 2, your agent will often point out details that you yourself might not have realized. You might not have even known you need to look out for things. For example, the builder reputation. That's one of the most common questions I get is, hey, Thomas, have you heard of X builder and are they any good? And trust me, we usually know. We've all heard things. Other things could include your payment, particularly about taxes. Oftentimes, whenever a builder sells you a property, the tax rolls haven't really discovered that there's a house sitting on that chunk of land yet. So your property taxes are remarkably low. Your payment looks awesome. And then that first tax bill shows up and you get sticker shock. Most builders are pretty good about informing you about that. And if the builder didn't, then the lender did. And if the lender didn't, then the title company did. And yet, there are some situations where it gets overlooked. Incentives. Your agent can negotiate incentives that sometimes the builder wasn't originally offering. Your agent can talk to you about things like the lot premiums, future value of the property. Your agent knows things that you just, as a non-real estate professional, probably aren't thinking about. Third, sometimes the really, really big, exciting, shiny builder incentives aren't really incentives. Just as an example, today we reviewed a new construction contract that was offering a dollar amount if you used that builder's preferred lender. What you didn't see is that if you went through and looked at the contract, the builder had included so many expenses to the buyer that it kind of offset the incentive that they were offering, including the title policy and some other things. If you're not a real estate professional, you're very unlikely to know this. Now, there are some builders out there, okay? I'm looking at you, Lennar. Come at me. Who will actually incentivize buyers to not use a real estate agent. I want you to think very carefully about that for a second. Very carefully. Think about it. Let's be critical. An entity that would give you preferential treatment to not have a pair of professional eyes that represent you on a transaction. Really think about it. Think about it before you object. Hold on. Don't say anything. Just think. Imagine being a defendant in court and being offered a super sweet deal as long as you didn't hire your own attorney. Sound sketchy? That's because it is. Now, I digress. The teaser for this video was, what's the number one question to ask to a new home builder before you sign a contract to buy a new construction home? The number one question to ask a new construction builder is, how long will you be building homes in this neighborhood, this subdivision, or this development? Why is this important? Well, I'll tell you why. People in DFW move on average every 5-point-something years, okay? And I think most of those people would tell you, oh, we're going to live here for the rest of our lives. We're going to live here for 10 years. We're going to live here for 20 years. Life changes, and people move on average roughly every 5 years. If that builder has set up shop in that neighborhood for more than 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they just keep buying more land and keep building more and more phases, this is a huge, huge problem for you. You're going to struggle to sell your house for considerably more than what you bought it for because they're still building your floor plan a couple of blocks over. So no one wants to buy your pre-owned home for $500,000 whenever they could buy the same floor plan for $550,000 with $30,000 of builder incentives and add-ons and a 3-1 buy-down built in. You can't compete. You're cooked. This is a very real situation. It's a reality. We've got a ton of clients who live in the North DFW Metroplex up along the 380 corridor who are suffering from this right now. Big builders like D.R. Horton, who I don't have anything bad to say about, by the way. D.R. Horton will set up shop for the next 15 years. And so what that leads to is a huge influx of pre-owned inventory in those neighborhoods that can't sell, and your prices go down. People end up selling for the same as what they bought for, if even that much, after sitting on the market for 6 months, 9 months, sometimes a year or more. New construction can be awesome, but you need to know all of the facts before you make that decision for you and your family. And on that sunshiny note, be sure to spay and neuter your pets. See you next time.